Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Barry Banana, and in today's video I'm going to be conducting a complete review and analysis of the game mode we all know and love. It's FIFA Pro Clubs. I will also be tearing EA a new bumhole as I release about 7 years of pent-up aggression and disappointment. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to be addressing the biggest issues that currently plague pro clubs in my opinion. I'm then going to take you through the history of these problems, how they came about, how they're progressing, how EA have done fucking nothing to fix them. And then I'm going to be providing some personal, extremely professional insight into how I believe that these problems can be solved in the future. Okay, now that that's all cleared up, let's waste no more time. But before we begin, I would just like to say this. Fuck you, EA. Fuck you. I genuinely hate you. From the bottom of my heart, I've never despised anything. A company, a person, an animal, fucking Hitler, literally anything more than I despise you. You are money hungry, greedy cunts who don't care in the slightest about your fanbase or the quality of your game. And I will never forgive you for the amount of disappointment you have brought me with the release of every new FIFA. I don't know why I'm saying this as if someone from EA is actually going to view this video and genuinely be offended, but if they do, I hope you are offended. Given the chance, I would waste absolutely no time erecting my penis, shoving Apologies, I let my emotions get the better of me there, but you get the point. I don't like EA for many reasons, but a lot of those reasons will be talked about in this video, so they are relevant. Anyway, now that that is finally out of the way, let's get into the review. Okay, so the first problem we're going to be talking about is character customization. Now, in my opinion, and everyone else's, I don't even need to ask because I know everyone agrees here. Character customization is the most frustrating aspect of every pro clubs. Why? Well, it's frustrating for a number of reasons. First of all, it's frustrating because us, the pro clubs community, have been begging, literally begging EA to improve their character customization for years. And year after year, without fail, they don't. Why EA don't do this? I don't fucking know, man. No one knows. Okay, it's in my brain, it is so simple to add some new cool hairstyles, some tattoos, fucking a good selection of boots for once. Fuck me. But for some reason, EA don't see it this way. Or they do see it this way because in Volta, they've added tattoos and they've added different hairstyles. Granted, these hairstyles are fucking dog shit, but the fact remains, you can play Volta, earn currency, and work towards these additional hairstyles, which is exactly what Pro Clubs needs. So, this is what makes it even more frustrating. It's the fact that EA already have this improved character customization system. It's just in Volta. Can someone please tell me why they cannot just copy and paste the character customization from Volta and put it in Pro Clubs? This is something I will simply never understand, and I would just call it laziness on behalf of EA, but at this point it genuinely feels like they're deliberately leaving this out of Pro Clubs just to make us suffer. I can only imagine how easy it would be to copy the tattoos from Volta and paste them in Pro Clubs, but yet EA still doesn't do this, and this is what pisses me off so much. Now, don't get me wrong, the customization in Volta is far from perfect, and honestly, it's still fucking shit. But they still have tattoos and stuff like that, so it doesn't matter what way you look at it, it's already miles ahead of Pro Clubs. And Pro Clubs has been out since 2010, whereas Volta was only introduced in FIFA 20. I also have no doubt in my mind that the Pro Clubs community is much stronger and much larger than the Volta community. To be honest, does the Volta community even fucking exist? Probably not. But despite this, Volta is still favoured in the eyes of EA. Why? Why, EA? Is it because Volta has microtransactions? Most likely, because as I said before, EA doesn't care about the satisfaction of their customers. Instead, they only care about the size of their wallets. Okay, so just to clarify, Pro Clubs character customization is wank. It is dog shit, and it always will be. It lacks some seriously crucial aspects of character customization, such as an extensive range of genuinely good haircuts with interesting patterns and accessories, such as the haircuts we saw in The Journey back in FIFA 17. That was 5 years ago, EA. How is that not in Pro Clubs yet? We also lack quality facial hair, tattoos are non-existent, and the selection of boots gets worse every year. When you compare Pro Clubs to the likes of 2K's My Player in the NBA series, it's not even close. 2K is miles ahead of EA when it comes to character customization. I mean, look at this. There's literally 3 good beards in Pro Clubs. That's it. 3. Anyway, it's not just 2K that leads the race when it comes to character customization. Volta is now beating Pro Clubs. EA's own game mode. How is this even possible? How does that happen? Luckily I, Barry Banana, have thought of a simple solution to fix this rather simple problem. Okay, so first of all, EA, what you're going to do is you're going to pull your head out of your fucking ass, and secondly, you're going to spend more than 10 minutes on the next FIFA's character customization. And that should do it. Okay, so that's enough on character customization. I could actually go on for hours, but for the sake of this video, I'll end it there, and we'll move on to our next topic, which is going to be the stale game model. Now, this is probably the largest topic I'm going to be talking about today, so I'm going to split it up into 3 subpoints. First, we have the outdated division system. Secondly, we have the absolutely atrocious tournaments. And finally, we got the rewards/incentives, or a lack of for that matter. Ever since the beginning of online FIFA, we have seen the introduction of the classical division system, whereby you start in Division 10 and work your way up through the divisions with the end goal of winning Division 1. Now, I personally really like this system as it provides a solid direction for players to progress in, as well as an end goal that many people can only dream of achieving. However, the problem arises when that dream eventually and inevitably becomes a reality. You see, for most people, if you play the game somewhat consistently, you'll eventually progress through divisions, face tougher opponents, ultimately become better at the game, and then eventually win Division 1. And so the question arises, what do you do once you win Division 1? Well, win it again most likely, and again, and again, and again. But every time you win it, it loses more and more meaning. I still remember the first time I won Division 1. I was on my feet, cheering, ripping my clothes off, flopping my penis about. It was amazing. It was the best feeling in the world.
Boys, we beat Pro Clubs! We beat Pro Clubs! After all the shit that they've given us!
And then the second time I won it, it was the second best feeling in the world, and so on and so forth until I no longer got excited about winning Division 1. Now, me personally, I've won Division 1 around 7 times. Now, I know to some people that's a lot, to others that is probably nothing, but my point remains, once you've won Division 1, there's nothing else to work for, nothing else to accomplish. You've completed it, you've beaten pro clubs. And that's a big problem because a lot of the hardcore fans have either already won Division 1 or are very capable of winning it, and they need something else to work for, something else to accomplish after winning Division 1. And so I propose the introduction of something else, and I mean literally anything else. I'm talking a weekend league, I'm talking an elite division, I'm talking division rivals. We just need something that keeps us as players striving to win. The problem is, after winning Div 1, you don't really care about winning anymore because you've won it all. There's nothing more to achieve, there's nothing more prestigious, no accomplishment greater than winning Division 1. And so, EA, I beg of you, actually, what the fuck, no, EA, I'm done begging. I demand that you add something else for us to achieve in this next game, or else Barry Banana's going to have to intervene. Okay, that's enough about the repetitive division system, and now it's time to talk about the somehow even shitter tournament system. Long ago, there used to be 4 tournaments in FIFA Pro Clubs. Now, I can't remember exactly, but I believe you could play in these tournaments once every fortnight. And the tournament you were able to play in correlated to the division that you were currently in. So, for example, teams in Division 1 and 2 were able to compete in the highest tournament, the most competitive tournament. And this system actually wasn't terrible. Look, it's far from perfect, but it was okay. Unfortunately, EA, being EA, went and fucked it all up. They went and completely revamped the tournament system so that the tournaments were now completely dominated by the couch play game modes. Yes, the shitty game modes like headers and volleys and long shots. Now, don't get me wrong, playing no rules or survival with my friends every now and then can be fun. But when I hop on Pro Clubs, the last thing I want to do is play some mutated game mode with some shitty rules, which, by the way, you can't even do because it literally takes about an hour to find a game in these tournaments. And that sucks because tournaments are so much fun in Pro Clubs due to the high stakes nature of every game. Nothing, and I mean nothing, gets the blood pumping like going into extra time and penalties in an elimination game. But EA have robbed us of this fantastic experience due to their laziness and incompetence. Thus, I'm about to propose an idea that will prove that even a 19-year-old with absolutely no experience in game design is more competent than EA when it comes to making games. Okay, so originally I had this grand plan as to how I was going to explain in great detail the Rocket League tournament system and how I would apply that to the Pro Clubs game mode. However, upon trying to explain it, things got a little bit messy, so instead I'm just going to convey a much more simple idea here. Oh my god, the voice crack. I'm just going to convey a much more simple idea here in this video. But if you would like to see me explain what I believe would be the perfect tournament system for Pro Clubs, let me know in the comments down below, and I will do a longer video just on that alone because I need a little bit more time to explain that. Okay, anyway, back to the tournament system. First of all, EA, you need to fucking get rid of this shitty couch play shit. This shitty couch play nonsense. Right? No one wants to play headers and volleys. Fuck off, okay? I came here to play Pro Clubs. What you should do is just bring back the old tournament system whereby you had like 4 or 5 tournaments that correlated to the divisions you were in. So for example, The teams in Division 1 and 2 could join the highest tournament, while the teams in Division 9 and 10 could join the lowest tournament, and you would have like 5 different tournaments with 2 divisions per tournament. That is okay. Look, it's not perfect, but just go back to that, because anything is better than this fucking couch play bullshit. Okay, now to further my proposal, I'm going to discuss one of the biggest problems with the tournaments we had back in the day, and that was the matchmaking. Tournaments in pro clubs are fun, but I'll tell you what's not fun. It's waiting an hour to find a semi-final every single fucking tournament. Okay, so to fix this, EA should do 2 things. First of all, they should reduce the window that the tournament is open for. In my opinion, the tournament should be open for just 1 night a week per region. You see, by only having 1 tournament a week in a reduced time frame, EA will concentrate the traffic of teams trying to play in the tournament to a smaller window, thus making them more likely to find a game. It's actually such a simple fucking concept, I really can't believe that EA haven't applied it yet. But wait, I can believe it, because EA are just a bunch of retard troglodytes. And yes, there should be different tournaments for different regions, because 6 PM in the UK is like 4 AM in Australia, and it just wouldn't work out. Additionally, on top of the smaller time frame, EA needs to add rewards and incentive for people to play these tournaments. See, finding a game is near impossible when no one wants to play the tournaments because there's no reason to win them. No one cares if you have that trophy in your trophy cabinet. The only trophy people care about is Division 1. So EA need to fix that and add incentive for people to play the game. It's not that fucking hard, EA. Which brings me on to my next topic, which will tie in nicely to the 2 points that I've just addressed, and that is rewards/incentive, or lack of for that matter. Now look, it's all good and jolly if EA actually listened to the community for once and renewed the outdated division system and improved the shitty tournament system. But eventually, these new things that they add would run their course. People would win the elite division over and over again. People would win these tournaments over and over again. It doesn't matter what you add, eventually they will become outdated. Unless that is, you add rewards. You see, after you've won it all, after you've done everything, the only thing that keeps you coming back to a game is rewards. You see, there's no point trying to win Division 1 for the 10th time unless you are rewarded for doing so. Oh my goodness, EA. How fucking stupid are you? Now, I'm going to use a pretty popular game here for comparison, and some of you guys may like this and some of you may not like this, but let me know what you think, okay? So, Fortnite. I'm of course referring to the Battle Pass and item shop, whereby I think if we took that, tweaked it just a little bit, and put it in pro clubs, it would work perfectly. So imagine this, right? You're rewarded with an in-game currency, we'll just call them coins, for winning games, achieving promotion, and winning divisions, as well as tournaments. And the higher division you're in, the more coins you're rewarded with. You can then use these hard-earned coins to indulge in some intense customization. I'm talking outrageous haircuts, sexy tattoos, fabulous boots, literally anything. Not just player customization too though, team customization. I'm talking stadiums, stadium upgrades, training grounds, different kit styles and colors, different badges, literally anything and everything. You can customize it. This is perfect. But lads, I'm going to be honest with you. This will probably never happen because just remember, it is EA we're talking about. And they haven't given pro clubs an ounce of attention ever since it was created, so don't expect anything more. And with that being said, we move on to our next problem, which is matchmaking. Look, everyone enjoys playing pro clubs, but not everyone enjoys waiting 10 to 15 minutes to find a game, and in reality it can actually deter people away from the game mode. And whilst matchmaking isn't necessarily bad all the time, I have heard it can get pretty awful on next gen thanks to the reduced player counts. And I have just one word for this, or 2 words maybe, I'm not sure. Crossplay. That's it. That's the fix. And that brings us on to our next problem, which is progression and leveling. Now, EA recently changed the leveling system in FIFA 22, and whilst I do appreciate the change, they got it horribly wrong. Look, I've played over 300 games of pro clubs this year, and I'm only level 22. It just takes way too long to level up, and a lot of the time when you actually do manage to level up, you may only get like 1 or 2 skill points. This, paired with the fact that your pro doesn't progress naturally over time, completely ruins the leveling in pro clubs, as most people, including a lot of hardcore players, will never even get close to reaching max level. Luckily, this is a pretty easy fix. All EA need to do is reduce the amount of XP that is required to level up each time. Additionally, I think EA should split the game up into 4 different seasons and increase the level cap every season. So for example, at the start of the game, you can only reach level 20, but 3 months later, you can reach level 25, and so on and so forth. I think this will be perfect for the longevity of the game mode, as it will keep us as players coming back to play the game in order to improve our pro and reach max level every season. Okay, now that leveling is covered, let's move on to the next topic, which is one of the most frustrating topics, and that is post-launch support and quality of life improvements. I don't really need to say say much about post-launch support. I mean, we're 9 months into the game and the kick glitch is still a thing. How is the kick glitch still a thing? How is the kick glitch still a thing? How was the kick glitch ever a thing? I don't think I've ever seen the kick glitch in Ultimate Team, so why year after year is the kick glitch in Pro Clubs? And for some reason, even after 9 months, EA have not bothered to fix such a simple glitch. Why? Because they don't care about Pro Clubs. They don't care about you. Yeah, you, watching the video. They don't give a fuck. They just want your money. And they succeeded. Now, I could be wrong here, but I genuinely don't think EA have updated Now, I could be wrong here, but I genuinely don't think EA have updated Pro Clubs even once since the game dropped 9 months ago. And if they have, they fixed nothing significant. And the fact that EA haven't been bothered to fix such a simple glitch just shows how much they care about Pro Clubs. And unfortunately, the only fix for this is EA to start caring about Pro Clubs, which is never going to happen. Okay, and now I'm going to talk about some quality of life improvements which I believe need to be in the next Pro Clubs. Well, actually, they needed to be in Pro Clubs 5 years ago, but here we are. First off, the substitute bench. And I know how frustrating this is because us, the community, have been begging for this. I can't even remember since when. Fucking since I was born, that long ago. If EA could add a working substitute bench whereby late players can join through the game and disconnected players can join back into the game, it would be great. It would be fucking perfect, and it just makes so much sense. I know for a fact that everyone out there playing Pro Clubs has been disconnected from a game at least once. At least once. And what if that game is like a title winning game or a really important game that you need to be there for? But you've been disconnected and now you can't join back because EA are so fucking incompetent that they can't add a simple substitute bench. Now, the substitute bench is probably the most sought after quality of life improvement in Pro Clubs, but another necessary quality of life improvement in Pro Clubs is a training ground. It genuinely baffles me that in the year of 2022, we still have to sit here and stare mindlessly at our screens as we search for matches. Teams should have a training ground that all players can enter and exit at any time. This would allow you as a team to kick the ball around before the game, practice some set pieces, maybe play against a team of CPUs, or genuinely just pass time as you wait to find a match. It doesn't matter what you do in the training ground. The fact is that a training ground should be there available to you. It just makes so much sense. Additionally, I think you should be able to buy upgrades for your training ground using the currency system that I mentioned earlier in the video. Such upgrades could include better facilities, a gym like the ones they have in NBA 2K, a 5-a-side field for you and your team to play Volta while you search for games, as well as some of the Volta arcade games such as foot tennis, dodgeball, and wall ball. This would also help address the matchmaking issue, as I genuinely wouldn't even mind waiting 10 minutes to find a game if I could play dodgeball or foot tennis while I waited for the game. And the fact that things like skill games and Volta Arcade are already in the game, but they just haven't transferred them into Pro Clubs, it pisses me off. It makes me want to commit mass genocide on a scale unprecedented. But anyway, I think I speak for everyone when I say that the inclusion of a training ground and a substitute bench would greatly improve the Pro Clubs experience. Please EA, please. And now, the final topic of this video. Gameplay. Right now, you're looking at footage from FIFA 19 Pro Clubs, which in my opinion was the best Pro Clubs in terms of gameplay. Just take a look at some of the goals me and my friends are scoring. These goals are nothing short of world class. These are the kind of goals that get you on your feet, strip down naked and flap your cock about. They're exhilarating, thrilling, and they get the blood pumping. They have what I call the wow factor. Now, FIFA 19 was the last FIFA with the wow factor. Ever since then, the gameplay has been dull, repetitive, and just plain boring, as it really lacks that spark. I'm gonna be honest with you, 95% of the goals that I've scored this FIFA are pretty much the exact same goal. They follow the exact same formula and only differ slightly when compared to one another. Long gone are the days where you can score bicycle kicks, 40-yard screamers, and impeccable volleys. Now we have been reduced to just scoring one-on-ones and the occasional outside-the-box finesse. We need to see some huge improvements in shooting. Whilst everyone appreciates aspects of realism within the game, you have to remember we are playing a game. If I wanted to play football, I would go outside and play football. But I can't score 40-yard screamers or bicycle kicks in real life. And that's why I play games, to experience those moments, that excitement that you get from scoring such fabulous goals. But once again, EA have robbed us of the opportunity to experience such moments by making it impossible to score these goals. EA, you need to buff these aspects of shooting. Even if it's a bit unrealistic, these moments are critical to the game. The feeling of netting an absolute worldie is truly unrivaled. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that will do me for today. I've wanted to make this video for a while, just so I can get this all off my chest, because goddamn, I've been thinking about this stuff ever since I started playing Pro Clubs, and now I can finally be vocal about it. But lads, be vocal too. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Did you agree with what I said? Did you disagree with what I said? Was there any topics that I didn't address that you thought I should have? Let me know in the comments, guys. Once again, thank you all for watching. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one.